You wake up to a morning that looks like every other morning. The light enters the room softly, not demanding anything from you. The world outside continues its rhythm, cars moving, birds calling, people rushing toward appointments and obligations. You move through familiar motions. You wash your face. You prepare your day. You answer messages. You fulfill responsibilities. To anyone watching, your life appears normal, even stable. Nothing is breaking. Nothing is collapsing. And yet, something inside you is no longer settled. You notice it in the quiet moments. When the noise fades and the world stops asking things of you, a subtle unrest rises, and it is not panic, it is not despair, nor it is deeper than emotion. It is a quiet awareness that something unfinished is breathing beneath your routine. You have achieved things others admire. You have survived what should have broken you. You have learned how to function, how to adapt, how to appear strong. But somewhere between the ordinary moments of your day, a question presses gently against your spirit. Is this all? You try to silence it. You distract yourself with productivity. You tell yourself to be grateful. You remind yourself that many would trade places with you. And yet the feeling remains not loud enough to scare you, not dramatic enough to explain to others, but persistent enough that you cannot ignore it forever. This is not dissatisfaction with life. This is recognition that life, as it currently stands, is not the full measure of why you are here. You begin to sense that your soul is outgrowing its surroundings. Conversations feel shallow. Achievements feel temporary. Even pleasures that once satisfied you now fade quickly. You are not depressed, you are awakening. Something eternal is stirring beneath the surface of your ordinary days, and it refuses to be numbed by routine. You start to feel like a traveler who has stayed too long in a familiar place. Nothing is wrong with the place, but you were never meant to remain there forever. You sense that your time is not being wasted, but it is being measured. Each moment feels counted, each choice feels weighted, and suddenly life no longer feels random. It feels intentional, precise, and purposeful, like a chapter nearing completion. This is when the quiet knowing begins. Not a voice from the sky, not a dramatic sign, just an inner alignment where truth settles without explanation. You realize that endings are not always loud. Some endings arrive wrapped in peace. Some transitions begin while everything still looks normal on the outside. And for the chosen one, the most significant shifts often occur silently, where only the spirit can recognize them. You may notice that your tolerance for meaningless conflict disappears. You no longer have energy for arguments that lead nowhere. You choose silence more often, not because you are weak, but because you see more clearly. You understand that not every battle deserves your breath. You understand that your remaining time, whether long or short, is sacred. There is also a strange tenderness that begins to grow in you. You become more observant. You notice small moments. You feel compassion more deeply. You listen more carefully. It is as if your soul is preparing itself to leave nothing unresolved. You are not running from life, you are honoring it. You are becoming deliberate with your love, your words, your presence. And in the stillness of this realization, peace begins to replace urgency. Not the peace the world offers, the kind that depends on circumstances, but a peace that exists even when questions remain unanswered. This peace does not mean you understand everything. It means you trust the one who does. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 27, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." This peace is the marker. It is how you know this awakening is not fear-driven. You are not being warned, you are being prepared. The quiet dissatisfaction you feel is not punishment. It is invitation. An invitation to loosen your grip on what is temporary and to align yourself with what is eternal. You begin to realize that your ordinary life was never meaningless. It was training. Every routine moment shaped your endurance. Every silent struggle refined your discernment. Every unseen sacrifice strengthened your spirit. Nothing was wasted. But now, something is shifting. The way you relate to time changes because you stop rushing. You stop postponing what matters. You become present in ways you never were before. You understand that when God prepares His chosen ones for transition, He does not always announce it with thunder. Sometimes He speaks through restlessness. Sometimes He speaks through peace. Sometimes He speaks through the gentle realization that your soul is ready for more than this world can offer. This is not the end yet, but it is the beginning of awareness. The first sign is not fear of death, it is detachment from distraction. It is the holy discomfort that reminds you that you were never created only to survive days, but to fulfill purpose. If this quiet knowing resonates with you, do not ignore it. Honor it. Sit with it. Let it refine you. And if you feel this message speaking directly to your spirit, take one moment now like this message. Share it with someone who may need it. Subscribe to remain connected, and at the very end of this section, comment 77 as a sign that you recognize this awakening. The detachment does not arrive suddenly. It unfolds quietly, almost imperceptibly, woven into the fabric of your daily life. At first, you think you are simply tired. Then you assume you are changing. But soon you realize this is something deeper than mood or maturity. The things that once held your attention no longer have the same gravity. What used to excite you now feels distant. What once irritated you now barely registers. You are still present in the world, but you are no longer entangled in it. You notice how noise affects you differently. Crowds drain you faster. Endless conversations about status, success, and surface-level concerns feel hollow. You listen, but you do not attach. You participate, but you do not invest your soul. It is not arrogance, then it is not indifference, it is clarity. Your spirit is learning to distinguish between what is temporary and what is eternal. You begin letting go without announcing it. You release expectations you once clung to. You stop chasing validation that never truly fed you. Old ambitions soften, not because you failed, but because you finally see their limits. You realize how much energy you once poured into proving yourself, defending yourself, explaining yourself. Now, silence feels more powerful than explanation. Peace feels more valuable than being right. This detachment can feel lonely at times, not because you are alone, but because fewer people can meet you where you are now standing. You see the world differently. You sense when conversations are rooted in fear, pride, or distraction. You no longer judge them, but you also no longer resonate with them. Your soul is recalibrating, and not everyone can follow that frequency. There are moments when you wonder if something is wrong with you. Why don't you want what others want anymore? Why do familiar pleasures feel empty? Why do you crave stillness more than stimulation? But deep down, you already know the answer. You are not losing interest in life, you are loosening your attachment to illusion. Your heart begins to value weightier things, integrity over image, truth over comfort, presence over performance. You find yourself drawn to simplicity. Silence becomes sacred. Time alone becomes nourishing. You begin to guard your energy not out of fear but out of wisdom. You understand that what remains of your journey deserves your full awareness. This detachment is not escapism. You are not withdrawing because you cannot cope. You are withdrawing because you can finally see. And once you see clearly, you cannot pretend anymore. You cannot unsee the ways the world distracts itself to avoid eternity. You cannot unfeel the pull towards something greater, purer, and more lasting. You start measuring life differently. Not by years, but by meaning. Not by accumulation, but by alignment. You ask yourself quieter questions now. Am I living truthfully? Am I loving deeply? Am I at peace with God? These questions matter more to you than any milestone the world applauds. There is also a purification happening within you. Old grudges lose their grip. Old regrets soften. You begin forgiving not because others deserve it, but because your spirit cannot carry unnecessary weight anymore. You sense that you are being prepared, lightened for a transition that requires clarity and freedom. Even your relationship with time shifts. You stop fearing it. You stop trying to outrun it. You respect it. Each day feels like a gift rather than a guarantee. You are no longer obsessed with the future, nor trapped in the past. You dwell more fully in the present, aware that every moment is a meeting place between heaven and earth. This is where detachment reveals its true purpose. It is not about losing love for the world. It is about loving God more than the world. It is about recognizing that nothing here was ever meant to be your final home. You were created to pass through, not to cling, as the apostle reminds us in his letter. Written to steady hearts pulled by competing desires in the book of 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. These words are not a condemnation, they are a compass. They explain what your spirit already understands. You are not rejecting life, you are aligning with truth. You are learning to hold everything with open hands, knowing that what is eternal cannot be taken, and what is temporary was never meant to stay. The detachment deepens, but so does your peace. You are no longer frantic. You are no longer restless. You trust the unfolding. You trust the silence. You trust that when God begins loosening your grip on the world, it is because He is drawing you closer to Himself. And though you may not yet see the full path ahead, you sense that this separation is not loss, it is preparation. Your soul is being trained to travel light. As detachment deepens, something else awakens within you. It is not louder than before, but it is sharper. Your perception changes. You begin to notice what others overlook. Patterns emerge. Words carry weight beyond their surface meaning. Silence speaks. You are no longer merely observing life, you are discerning it. This heightened perception does not feel mystical in a dramatic way. It feels natural, as if a veil has been gently lifted. You sense when something is aligned and when it is not. You feel warnings without panic and confirmations without noise. Your spirit reacts before your mind has time to analyze. What once required explanation now arrives as knowing. Dreams begin to shift. They are not always symbolic, but they are vivid. Some feel instructional, others feel revealing. You wake with impressions that linger longer than ordinary thoughts. You may not understand them fully, but you sense they matter. You stop dismissing them as imagination because they carry a weight that imagination does not. Your sensitivity to truth increases, and so does your sensitivity to falsehood. You can feel when words are empty, even if they sound impressive. You can sense when intentions are misaligned, even if behavior looks kind. This does not make you suspicious, it makes you sober. You no longer take everything at face value, and you listen beneath what is spoken. At times, this awareness can feel heavy. Seeing clearly means you cannot unsee. You recognize the fragility of life, the thinness of time, the depth of eternity pressing close. You realize how much of the world operates on distraction, and how few are willing to sit with truth when it costs them comfort. Yet this perception is also a gift. You begin recognizing divine timing. You notice doors closing that once frustrated you, and now you understand they were acts of protection. You see delays that saved you. You see unanswered prayers that preserved you. What once felt confusing now feels intentional. You also become more aware of spiritual opposition, not in a sensational way, but in a sober one. You sense resistance when you move toward truth. You feel heaviness when you drift from it. You understand that clarity attracts both guidance and pressure, and instead of fearing that, you become anchored. Your intuition strengthens, but it is not intuition alone. It is discernment shaped by surrender. You are not relying on yourself, you are learning to listen, to pause, to test what you sense against peace rather than impulse. You no longer rush decisions, no, you wait until something settles in your spirit. This is when you realize that heightened perception is not about seeing more, it is about seeing accurately. You are not being shown everything. You are being shown what you need. Your focus narrows. Distractions lose their appeal. You become attentive to what nourishes your spirit and cautious of what drains it. There is also a deep humility that comes with this awareness. You realize how little control you truly have. You understand that insight is entrusted, not earned. This keeps you grounded. You do not feel superior to others, you feel responsible. Responsible for how you respond to what you now see. Sometimes this clarity creates distance between you and others. Not because you withdraw, but because you cannot pretend. You no longer laugh at what grieves your spirit. You no longer endorse what compromises truth. And while this may cost you certain connections, it strengthens your alignment. You begin recognizing that this season is not about accumulation of knowledge, but refinement of vision. God is not overwhelming you with revelation, He is sharpening what you already know, teaching you to trust the quiet signal over the loud noise, teaching you to value discernment over information. The world may call this intuition, awareness, or maturity, but Scripture names it differently. It calls it sight. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. To soar like an eagle is not about escape. It is about elevation. Eagles see from above, not to dominate, but to discern. This is what is happening to you. Your perspective is lifting. You are being trained to see beyond surface movement into spiritual reality. This perception does not mean your journey becomes easier. It means it becomes clearer. You recognize when to speak and when to remain silent, when to move and when to wait, when to release and when to endure. You stop forcing outcomes because you can sense timing. At this point, your soul is no longer asleep, and awakened souls must choose how they respond to what they see. Awareness always demands responsibility. You cannot return to ignorance, but you can choose alignment. If this heightened awareness resonates with you, if you recognize this sharpening happening within your own spirit, take a moment and comment the phrase, "I see clearly." Not as a declaration of pride, but as an acknowledgement, an outward sign of an inward shift, a quiet agreement that your vision is changing and you are willing to walk with that clarity. This is not the end of the awakening. It is the deepening of it. Your eyes are opening not to fear the world, but to navigate it with truth. And once vision is restored, nothing looks the same again. As perception sharpens, obedience is tested, not in theory, but in pressure, not in comfort, but in fire. This is where truth is separated from outcomes, and faith is stripped of its bargaining language. You discover that believing is easy when obedience is rewarded, but surrender is proven when obedience costs you everything. This is where the ancient story of Daniel's 3 friends steps forward, not as history, but as a mirror. They lived in a system that rewarded compliance and punished conviction. A golden image was raised, polished and impressive, demanding public allegiance. The rule was simple: bow and live, or stand and die. No middle ground, no private faith. Truth had to be visible or silenced. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were not rebels by personality. They were administrators, contributors, men who had already served faithfully. They did not seek confrontation, but when the moment came, their loyalty was tested publicly. The world asked them to prove which authority they truly belonged to. They refused to bow. Notice what they did not say. They did not threaten. They did not negotiate. They did not ask God to rescue them as a condition of obedience. They stood calmly before the most powerful ruler of their time and spoke words that still unsettle every generation. They said their God was able to deliver them, but even if he did not, they would not bow. This is the heart of obedience without attachment to outcome. They were not loyal because of protection. They were loyal because of truth. Their faith was not transactional. It was anchored. They understood something many believers struggle to accept. Obedience is not validated by results. Obedience is validated by alignment. You see yourself in that moment, because your own season has pressed you into similar corners. You have faced choices where truth cost you favor, where silence would have protected you, but integrity demanded you speak or step away or refuse. And like them, you discovered that obedience does not always feel heroic. Sometimes it feels terrifying. The furnace was heated 7 times hotter, not because of their faith, but because of the world's rage when faith refuses to bend. That detail matters. Resistance intensifies when conviction is unmovable. Pressure increases when compromise fails. And still, they did not retreat. This is what final tests of obedience look like. God does not ask you to predict the outcome. He asks you to choose alignment. He does not promise comfort. He promises presence. As the story unfolds, something extraordinary happens. They are thrown into the fire, bound, controlled, restrained. But when the king looks again, the men are no longer bound. They are walking freely in the flames. And there is a 4th presence with them, one not thrown in by human hands. The fire did not consume them. It consumed what bound them. This is the mystery of obedience. Sometimes God does not keep you from the fire. He meets you in it. Sometimes deliverance is not avoidance, it is transformation. And sometimes the miracle is not survival, but testimony. This story is not only about rescue. It is about truth that stands regardless of outcome. Because even if God had not delivered them, their obedience would still have been right. That is the level of surrender that marks a chosen one nearing completion, not faith that demands results, but faith that remains faithful even when results are unknown. You are being tested in this same way, not with idols of gold, but with subtler images: approval, security, comfort, relevance. You are asked daily, quietly, whether you will bow just a little to remain safe, whether you will dilute truth to remain accepted, whether you will compromise conviction to avoid loss. And each time you choose truth over outcome, something in you is refined. The ancient words spoken through the prophets still echo this kind of courage. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 2. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. Notice the language. When, not if. Passing through does not mean failing, and it means fulfilling. Fire does not disqualify you, fire reveals what cannot be destroyed. This is why your current pressure feels intensified. You are not being punished, you are being proven. Heaven is not asking whether you will win. Heaven is asking whether you will stand. And there is something else the story reveals that many miss. When the 3 men came out of the fire, the only thing missing were the ropes that bound them. Not even the smell of smoke clung to them. The fire had authority only over what was never meant to remain. This is what obedience does at this stage of your journey. It burns away fear-based attachments. It removes dependence on outcomes. It frees you from the need to be preserved by anything other than God. You may not be facing a literal furnace, but you know the heat, the relational cost, the financial uncertainty, the misunderstanding, the isolation, and still, you stand, quietly, faithfully, without spectacle. That is why this story belongs here not as inspiration, but as confirmation. You are not strange for feeling tested. You are not alone in choosing truth over survival. You are walking a path others have walked before you, and heaven recognizes it. If this message strengthened you, if this ancient story spoke into your present fire, you can gently support this work by liking the message, sharing it with someone who may be standing in their own furnace, and subscribing to remain connected. Not for numbers, but so this kind of truth continues to reach those who need courage more than comfort. After the fire comes an unexpected shift, not outward, but inward. The struggle does not disappear, yet something within you settles. This is the paradox of this season. While the body may feel weaker, the spirit grows calmer. While uncertainty may still surround you, fear loses its authority. You realize that peace is no longer dependent on outcomes, strength, or even answers. It has anchored itself somewhere deeper. You begin to notice your limits more clearly. Your energy is not endless. Your body asks for rest more often. Recovery takes longer, and yet instead of panic, there is acceptance. You stop fighting the reality of weakness. You stop measuring your worth by productivity. You understand that strength, as the world defines it, was never the source of your endurance. There is a gentleness that settles over you. You move more slowly, not because you cannot rush, but because you no longer need to. You listen to your body. You honor silence. You release the pressure to prove resilience. You are not giving up, you are yielding. And in that yielding, something sacred happens. Peace begins to rise where fear once lived. This peace is not emotional numbness. You still feel deeply. You still care. But anxiety no longer drives you. You stop rehearsing worst-case scenario. You stop bracing for disaster. You trust that whatever remains ahead will be met with the same faithfulness that carried you this far. You also realize that weakness has clarified your priorities. When energy is limited, you choose carefully how to spend it. You invest in what matters. You withdraw from what drains. You stop explaining yourself to people who cannot hear you. You stop overextending for approval. You become honest about what you can give and what you cannot. There is dignity in this kind of honesty. You begin to see that physical weakness does not signal spiritual defeat. In fact, it often marks spiritual maturity. The illusion of self-sufficiency fades, and dependence becomes natural rather than humiliating. You no longer need to appear strong, you need to remain aligned. In this season, prayer changes. It becomes quieter, less words, more presence. You do not ask for many things, you simply rest in communion. There is a sense that God is nearer now, not because circumstances improved, but because resistance softened. You also become more compassionate toward others. Weakness humbles you. It removes judgment. You recognize the hidden battles people carry. You extend grace more easily because you understand fragility firsthand. Your heart softens without losing discernment. There are moments when the world expects you to be afraid of decline, afraid of loss, afraid of what comes next. But fear no longer takes root. Something steadier holds you. You know, without drama, that your life is not slipping away. It is being gathered. You realize that peace is not the absence of struggle. It is the absence of resistance to God's presence within the struggle. The scriptures speak directly into this mystery, not as theory, but as promise. We find in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." This verse does not romanticize weakness. It redeems it. It reveals that power does not arrive when weakness ends. It arrives when weakness is surrendered. This is why peace can coexist with limitation. This is why calm can exist even as the body fades. Grace fills the space where self-reliance once ruled. You begin to understand that this peace is preparation. It steadies you. It loosens fear's grip. It trains your heart to trust without conditions. You are not being numbed. You are being anchored. Even pain changes its tone. It no longer feels like an enemy. It becomes a signal, a reminder to rest, to pray, to release control. You stop asking why as often. You ask what now with openness rather than desperation. This is the peace that surpasses explanation. Others may not understand it. They may expect you to be anxious, frantic, or grieving. Instead, they sense something settled in you, something unshaken, and while they may not have language for it, they recognize its authenticity. You are not in denial, you are in trust. This peace does not mean the journey is over, but it does mean fear has been dismissed from leadership. Whatever remains ahead will not be faced alone. Whatever weakness increases will be met by grace that does not run out. And in this quiet strength, you realize something profound. You are not holding yourself together anymore. You are being held. If this description of peace amid weakness resonates with your spirit, if you recognize this calm settling within you, mark this moment by commenting 88. Not as a signal of perfection, but as a sign of alignment, acknowledging that you are learning to rest in grace rather than resist your limits. As peace settles and fear loosens its grip, a new urgency rises, not frantic, not pressured, but unmistakable. It is the urgency to bless, to release, to leave nothing tangled behind you. You feel it in conversations you can no longer postpone, in words that press against your chest until spoken, in forgiveness that suddenly feels essential rather than optional. This urgency is not driven by anxiety about time running out. It is driven by clarity. You see now how heavy unresolved things can be. You recognize how much energy is bound up in unspoken truth, withheld love, unfinished reconciliation. And your spirit, now refined by detachment and peace, refuses to carry unnecessary weight any longer. You begin reviewing your life differently, not with regret, but with honesty. You think of people who shaped you, wounded you, walked with you, walked away from you. You notice where bitterness once hid under justification. You notice where silence replaced courage, and instead of condemning yourself, you feel invited to release it all. Blessing becomes intentional. You speak encouragement without waiting for the perfect moment. You affirm people not because they earned it, but because love no longer needs permission. You realize that many around you are starving for words you already carry, and withholding them now feels like disobedience. Forgiveness also changes form. It is no longer a dramatic internal battle. It becomes a decision made in quiet moments. You stop replaying offenses, you stop keeping mental records. Not because what happened was insignificant, but because carrying it no longer serves who you are becoming. Forgiveness becomes an act of alignment, not emotion. There is a deep wisdom growing in you, the wisdom to simplify. You release grudges. You release expectations. You release the need to be understood by everyone. You recognize that clarity does not require consensus. Peace does not require explanation, and closure does not always require conversation. Yet, when conversation is needed, you do not avoid it. You speak plainly, gently, truthfully. You are no longer interested in winning arguments. You are interested in leaving clean lines behind you. You understand that how you exit matters as much as how you entered. This urgency also touches your legacy, not in grand achievements, but in spiritual residue. You ask yourself what remains in people after encountering you. Do they feel lighter or heavier? More seen or more diminished? You realize that legacy is not built at the end of life, it is shaped in daily interactions. You also feel compelled to set others free from your expectations. You stop needing people to change in order for you to have peace. You stop holding them hostage to who you think they should be. This release brings relief not just to them, but to you. Control dissolves, trust replaces it. There is tenderness in this season, a softness that does not weaken you, but deepens you. You allow yourself to feel gratitude without clinging, love without possession, sorrow without despair. You understand now that attachment is not the same as love, and you choose love. You also begin ordering practical matters with calm intention, not from fear, but from stewardship. You organize, clarify, prepare not because you expect an ending tomorrow, but because wisdom honors today. There is peace in order. There is kindness in preparedness. What surprises you most is how light you feel as you release. You had not realized how much you were carrying until you put it down. Old identities fall away. Old labels lose relevance. You are no longer defined by what you survived, but by what you have surrendered. This season teaches you that blessing others is not about grand gestures. It is about presence, attention, sincerity, a willingness to leave people better than you found them. And the more you bless, the freer you become. The scriptures speak directly to this sacred awareness of time and release. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 90, verse 12. Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Numbering your days does not mean fearing their end. It means valuing their weight. It means recognizing that each moment carries opportunity for grace, for truth, for love. Wisdom teaches you not to rush, but to be intentional, not to cling, but to complete. You realize now that unfinished emotional business is heavier than any physical burden, and so you choose completion where possible. You say what needs to be said. You bless where you once withheld. You release what you cannot change. You trust God with what you cannot resolve. There is a quiet joy in this. Not excitement, but satisfaction. a sense that your life is being gathered, not scattered, that threads are being tied, not frayed. You are not erasing your past. You are redeeming it through peace. This urgency to bless and release is one of the clearest signs of spiritual maturity. It signals that your soul understands what truly lasts. Love lasts. Truth lasts. What you give away in obedience lasts. And as you continue forward, lighter and clearer, you sense that nothing essential has been lost. Only what was never meant to remain has been laid down. Now the final sign rises not with fear but with longing. It is the homeward call, a pull that does not originate in emotion, circumstance, or exhaustion, but in recognition. Your soul remembers something your body cannot explain. You begin to sense that where you are is no longer where you belong, even if life is still functioning around you. This call does not make you despise the earth. On the contrary, it deepens your gratitude for it. You love more tenderly now. You notice beauty more keenly. You hold moments more gently. But beneath that appreciation lives a quiet knowing this world is no longer your anchor. It is your passage. You feel it when heaven feels closer than ambition, when prayer feels more real than plans, when eternity feels less abstract and more familiar. You are not obsessed with leaving, but you are no longer afraid of arriving. This is not escapism, it is orientation. Your compass has shifted north. You begin to sense God not only as guide, but as destination. Faith is no longer about what He can do for you here, it is about being with Him fully. Your questions change. Instead of asking what comes next, you find yourself asking, who am I becoming as I go? Identity matters more than outcome. There is also a deep assurance growing inside you, one that does not shout, but steadies. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are not unfinished. Heaven does not rush its own. The timing that feels slow on earth is precise in eternity. You realize that the idea of the end has been misleading all along. What approaches is not loss, it is transition. Not disappearance, but fulfillment. Not erasure, but coronation. The crown promised is not a symbol of ego, but of completion, of a race finished honestly, of faith carried without collapse. You sense this crown not as reward for perfection, but for perseverance. For staying aligned when bending would have been easier. For loving when bitterness would have been justified. For obeying without guarantees. For trusting without control. The homeward call also brings rest to your striving. You stop trying to extract meaning from every moment. You trust that meaning has already been woven in. You stop fearing mistakes as much. Because you understand grace has been guiding you even through detours. There is also courage here. A courage that allows you to face uncertainty without panic. A courage that allows you to let go without clinging. You are no longer trying to secure your life, you are surrendering it. This is when heaven feels less distant, not visually, spiritually. You feel accompanied, watched over, not monitored but cared for. You sense that what lies ahead is not cold or empty but alive with presence. The scriptures speak with clarity about this moment, this inward turning toward home. The ancient words recorded in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 7, still echo with quiet authority, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Notice what is not said. There is no mention of wealth, no mention of applause, no mention of success as the world defines it. Only faithfulness, only endurance, only completion. This is what your soul recognizes now, that what matters most is not how loudly you lived, but how truly. Not how much you accumulated, but how much you surrendered. Not how long you stayed, but how well you loved. The homeward call does not remove you from responsibility. It refines it. You become more intentional, not less. You live gently, but purposefully. You speak truth, but with grace. You are present, but unattached. You also stop fearing judgment the way you once did. Not because you assume perfection, but because you trust mercy. You understand now that conviction was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to prepare you. And perhaps most quietly of all, you feel joy, not excitement, joy. A steady undercurrent that remains even in sorrow. A joy rooted not in circumstance, but in belonging. You know whose you are, and that knowledge outweighs every unknown. You are not running toward heaven because earth failed you. You are being drawn because heaven is calling you by name. If this message resonates, if this sense of orientation, of quiet readiness, of homeward pull feels familiar, then you are not alone. Many are awakening to this same awareness, often without words for it. And messages like this exist to remind you that your experience has meaning. If you feel led, you can gently support this work by liking this message, sharing it with someone who may be feeling the same quiet call, and subscribing to remain connected, not out of obligation, but out of alignment. So these reminders continue reaching those who need reassurance more than noise. You are not fading, you are arriving. And this ending you sense is not an ending at all, it is the final alignment before glory. You do not need to rush this moment. Let it rest with you. Let the words settle where they were meant to land. An open ending does not mean uncertainty, it means space. Space for reflection. Space for resonance. Space for whatever this message has quietly stirred within you. Perhaps nothing dramatic shifts right now. Perhaps everything remains outwardly the same. That is often how the deepest movements begin. Not with noise, but with recognition. Not with urgency, but with awareness. You may return to your routine, your responsibilities, your ordinary hours, but something inside you may walk differently through them. If this message felt like confirmation, let it be that. If it felt like a question, let it remain unanswered for now. You do not need to resolve it today. Some truths are meant to unfold gently, over time, as your spirit grows familiar with them. You are not being asked to do more. You are being invited to notice more, to live with intention, to love with clarity, to release what no longer belongs to you, to trust that whatever stage you are in, beginning, middle, or nearing completion, has meaning. There is no pressure here. No demand, no requirement to respond outwardly. If you feel moved to like or share this message, you may do so freely. If not, that is also fine. What matters most has already happened in the quiet place where no metrics reach. Carry forward what resonates, leave behind what does not. Truth has a way of staying without force. And if, at some point later, these words return to you unexpectedly in silence, in stillness, in the middle of an ordinary day, receive that gently. It may simply be your spirit remembering what it already knows. There is more ahead. There is also enough right now. You are not late. You are not lost. You are exactly where awareness meets trust.